Hello and welcome. Thank you all for being here this evening. My name is Sarah Lewis and I'm a community organizer working with Toxics Action Center and the Healthy Connecticut Alliance Resident Chapter. First off, we would like to thank Two Boots for allowing us to use their space on such short notice. To Tony and all the amazing staff here, thank you so much. Yay! Secondly, we'd like to thank the members of the Citizens Advisory Committee in Bridgeport for their dedication in working to establish a community benefits agreement for the Bridgeport community. The residents in this room have been working on a grassroots campaign to pressure PSEG to retire the Bridgeport Harbor Station coal. As many of you might know, burning coal is by far the dirtiest way to create electricity. Burning coal releases soot, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, mercury, and other pollutants that contribute to stroke, heart disease, respiratory disease, and cancer. In 2011, the National NAACP named the Bridgeport coal plant one of the top 10 worst environmental justice offenders in the nation. Now, PSEG is proposing a new fossil fuel project, a gas plant, in the same location. We're here today to present residents' concerns regarding the proposed Community Environmental Benefits Agreement. We're asking PSEG to continue to work with the city to make this agreement the best it can be for the Bridgeport community. Here to give you some background information is Diane Lintakis, a member of 350 Connecticut's steering committee. Diane?
Thank you very much, Sarah. I'd like to give you a little bit of background first on how the Community Environmental Benefits Agreement came to bear. On October 6th of 2014, the Bridgeport City Council approved a bipartisan resolution pertaining to the Bridgeport Harbor Station. This resolution called for 1, the retirement of Connecticut's last coal-fired power plant, Bridgeport Harbor Station. 2, the creation of the Citizens Advisory Committee, what is called CAC. 3, updates to all expired operating permits. And 4, the former Mayor Fitch expanded the CAC's role by charging the committee under Connecticut's environmental justice laws to help facilitate and negotiate a Community Environmental Benefits Agreement, or CEBA. The CAC was comprised of 14 members from environmental organizations, faith groups, city council members, environmental justice organization, and Bridgeport businesses. Although there was rarely a quorum, the members that attended worked tirelessly and relentlessly to try and compose a Community Environmental Benefits Agreement that is fair for the community of Bridgeport. During the negotiations with PSEG, the owner of the coal-fired power plant, the CAC's asks were diluted. For example, instead of PSEG agreeing to retire its coal-fired power plant by January of 2020, they agreed to retire by mid-2021. Since PSEG plans to bid into the ISO New England's auction on February 8th of this year, with its coal-fired power plant and its fracked gas power plant, there will be a period of at least 1 year in which there will be an overlap of both polluting plants. Is it not enough that Bridgeport has had to contend with pollution from Bridgeport Harbor Station since the 1960s? What do you think?
No.
No.
Indeed not. 350 CT is a community of people working to move Connecticut beyond fossil fuels through grassroots organizing with people such as the Bridgeport community. We have been part of a coalition that has been working for the past 4 years to retire the coal plant in the very near future. Unfortunately, the SEBA supports the construction and operation of a fracked gas power plant in Bridgeport's South End. Keeping in line with 350 CT's demands, as well as the Health of Connecticut Alliance's community group here, we are not in favor of supporting the SEBA. Next steps. Tonight, the City Council will hand over the SEBA to a subcommittee, most likely the Environmental, and I'm not quite sure the full name, Environmental Development Subcommittee. The City Council will then decide whether to call for a public hearing. It is not definite that there will be a public hearing called. We certainly hope with our pressure that one will be called. The subcommittee will review and make comments about the SEBA. The subcommittee will then return the SEBA with any comments to the City Council. On February 1st, the City Council will vote on this SEBA. And February 8th, the ISO New England will have its auction, at which time PSEG will bid in both plants. It is very important that the community as a whole come together for this. The SEBA, as it's written now, is totally unjust and unfair to the community. The community is not getting very much money for what it says it's going to do. PSEG has offered various amounts of money for different foundations. It's not half as much money as it needs to follow through with these projects and these green projects that Bridgeport really needs. We need to get on a great playing field. It started out with the Bridgeport 2020 green plan of 2020. Let's continue. And we hope that this great group that's here tonight will make a difference. I still believe in people power, and I think we have a great start here. So thank you very much, and we'll continue on with the next speakers for tonight.
Thank you, Diane. Our next speaker is Jorge Cruz, community activist and volunteer with the Healthy Connecticut Alliance resident chapter.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Elaine. I'm going to read a little bit of the PowerPoints that we feel is very important. Number one, this is a collective community concern. We would like to see a date certain for the retirement and demolition of the coal plant. In 2021, we do not want gas and a coal plant both operating simultaneously in the South End. We want retired coal plant before the gas plant begins operation. We live in a democracy, ladies and gentlemen. This agreement takes away power from community groups and residents to lobby their elected officials if they choose to oppose the new gas plant. We would also ask that provisions in the agreement we would ask that provisions in the agreement that takes power away from the city to renegotiate and be taken out. Number three, a retirement date for the gas plant should be included in the agreement. It has taken years to get to the point of seriously talking about retiring the coal plant. Let us not make the same mistake twice. We would like a date certain for the retirement of the future gas plant. Number four, $2 million given to the Community Environmental Benefits Fund should be used to improve our community. Studies examining the reuse of PSEG's property should be solely paid for by PSEG. PSEG should also pay for independent studies to monitor the health and respiratory problems children living in the proximity of the plant, I would urge PSEG to continue to work with the city and address these concerns of the community. After all, ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be a community benefits agreement, not PSEG benefits agreement.
Thank you, Jorge. Our next speaker is a very special young woman. We are very honored to have her here tonight to share her story. So please give a huge round of applause for Jason Millers.
Is there any more light?
Hello everyone, my name is Jason Millers. I am 10 years old and I attend Bryant School. I am here today to talk about retiring the coal plant and restricting other bad polluters from polluting Bridgeport. When I was 6, I was at my aunt's party and I started to feel tired and I didn't want to get up and my chest was wheezing and it was hard to breathe. My aunt was a nurse and she started checking me. Then she told my mom to rush me to the hospital. The doctor told my mom that I had asthma. I really didn't understand what it was. I just knew that I had it because it was hard to breathe. After that, my mom found about HCA and started going to meetings. That's why I am here today. I didn't know that I was breathing bad air. In fact, I know that Fairfield County has the worst air pollution in the state. I know that because I'm smart and I looked it up on the internet.
That's right.
In the year 2047, I will be 41 years old, my mom's age, and maybe or maybe not, I will have a 10-year-old daughter. And if we don't do something about cleaning up our air today, she, along with other children, will have breathing issues. So let's work together to clean the air for Bridgeport families to breathe.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that it's not right for PSEG to pollute the air in 2021 with gas and coal plant running at the same time, while others like myself are reducing, reusing, and recycling. In summary, PSEG is polluting the air and it's not right. It's not fair for PSEG to continue polluting with unrenewable resources like coal and gas that pollute not just Bridgeport but other surrounding places. I think it's selfish that PSEG is polluting the earth and not thinking about the plant and the animals and the humans. If we barely manage to put up with one, 2 fossil fuel plants is double the pollution. PSEG should retire the coal plant by 2020 to avoid more issues, if not sooner. I hope you consider what I have shared with you today. No coal, no gas, go green.
Yeah.
Jason, that was wonderful. Up next, I'd like to welcome Bob Halston.
My name is Robert Halston. I was councilman last term, lifelong resident of Bridgeport, Connecticut. The location of the Bridgeport Harbor plant in Bridgeport Harbor, along with many other institutions that carry the burdens of our economy and society, have traditionally been borne by the major cities of Connecticut, as opposed to the verdant suburbs where most of the captains of industry reside. The plant pays big taxes, true, but the income generated goes to carry the burden of the region in general. The plant takes away much of Bridgeport's enjoyment of its own waterfront. It causes major respiratory problems for Bridgeport residents. There is really nothing good that comes from the Bridgeport Harbor's location in Bridgeport, only bad things. It is right then that, and also required by regulations, the PSEG strive to work out an equitable give back to Bridgeport. I have the following to add to the given proposed document known as Community Environmental Benefit Agreement. One, included in the agreement should be a provision that PSEG be required to purchase federal and state tax credits such as those legislated by Neighborhood Assistance Act, state housing tax credit, federal low-income housing tax credits, federal historic tax credits, and state historic homes tax credits. It is my understanding that purchase of tax credits are offset by utility savings by subsequent exemption of taxes. Purchases are intended to fund nonprofit 501c3 agencies such as Habitat for Humanity or environmental groups, as well as providing subsidy for developers to create affordable housing and homeowners to repair their homes. Also, periodic health studies by independent agencies should be required to gauge the health and respiratory problems of children living with proximity of the plant, with the caveat that if problems rise above a certain threshold, PSEG has to pay more into the community fund. The amount of profit generated by PSEG along with the economic diseconomy suffered by the community should call for a compromise increase into the community fund from $2 million to $7 million, with the caveat that the majority of recipient agencies should be Bridgeport-based. The fund should be administered by People's United Foundation rather than the Fairfield County Community Foundation, thus being Bridgeport-based, for us, by us, FUBU. The mission of the community fund shall be to leverage public-private partnerships and shall be strategic in nature for maximum impact. I hope the process moves forward with the intentions as stated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Lastly, we'll hear some poetry from Nyreen.
Thank you. It's not through our eyes that we see, but our minds which we perceive. Today, creating environmental disharmony is the tunnel vision of corporate greed. Darkness flees through the veins to the pupil of our eyes, blinded from the impermanency of lust and pride. Don't conform to the ways of the world, rather be renewed by the transformations of your mind. Our planet's plants are disguised with coal that doesn't only burn but blows deadly particles through our souls into asthmatic chokeholds. Independent agriculture can no longer grow. 60 years we've been fighting. Can you tell me what is really in control? But behold, Mother Nature sprouts her seeds effortlessly, and magically our earth has grown with a land of trees that will help us to breathe. Dear environmental slavery, our spirits have taken the leap, although our flesh still weeps. The flesh still weeps. Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everybody first for coming out today. It's a really great crowd. What's going on here is that the benefits agreement itself needs to be challenged. What's the premise behind it? Should we even have it? Is there any value added after they get $5 million here, $2 million there? Isn't it the same thing except 2 power plants? Now, gas is a very big risk. Gas plants. Look up on the internet gas leak, and you're going to find a lot of towns that have evacuations and gas leaks that have gone on for a very long time. It's not, coal is dirty. It's very dirty. Coal is a dirty thing that can cause asthma and a lot of health risks, but gas is a huge risk. So we need to do our due diligence as to what the factors are. We need to oppose this gas plant. The bottom line is that the tax revenue is the only reason why the city of Bridgeport has supported the coal plant. If we're able to generate the same amount of dollar amount that PSEG provides to the city of Bridgeport, then why do we have a coal plant there? We need to retake our waterfront in Bridgeport. It's priceless. It's priceless. Why do they own our waterfront? And not only that, from sheer economic sense, anybody who's studied economics, there's something called the multiplier effect. You think Chipotle and Starbucks would open if the gas plant was there? No. Bass Pro has brought that in. It's better sense to build development, residential, commercial. We need to oppose this. This is just the beginning. You're going to hear a lot more. Thank you very much.
So we'll take questions for 2 minutes.
What about the global warming effects of building a gas or methane burning plant? We had the Paris climate talks, and we seem to be on a rather grave path to global warming. What about that aspect? I don't think it was addressed tonight.
The Global Warming Solutions Act actually has been addressed in the CEBA to a certain point. I don't know where Ben is. Ben, can you come and perhaps address that in a little bit more detail?
So I'm Ben Martin. I'm also from 350 Connecticut. The Paris climate agreements, if we're going to reach the targets of 2 degrees warming or their aspirational target of 1.5, we need to stop building new fossil fuels right now. And we see that the governor is on the wrong direction on this because he's not only trying to encourage the gas plant here in Bridgeport, but also more fossil fuel in Rocky Hill and Cromwell, and gas pipelines throughout the state, which 350 Connecticut and other environmental groups are opposing. So none of this plan of PSEG is going to work with the Global Warming Solutions Agreement in Connecticut or the Paris Climate Agreement that our country has signed recently.
And also Oxford, right? Melinda, yes.
I was hearing 2 things. It sounded like most of the speakers felt like the gas plant was sort of inevitable. They don't like it, but let's. It sounded like it was going to be built, and we'll have a date certain to close it. And then other people just said no gas plant. So I guess do people have their own opinion, and some are. I mean, how much opposition do you expect there would be, you know, if they get approval to build the gas plant? And I guess the other part of the question is, where does that approval process stand? I really don't know.
So I'll let Diane go over the approval process. I think she knows that process better, but we definitely wanted to value individual concern about this. So this is kind of a platform for residents to voice their personal concerns about the agreement, along with Jorge's shared collective concerns.
Yeah, you know, this is great. We really haven't had this much of a turnout of Bridgeport citizens. I'm so happy. This process has been much more transparent than the process in the past. What goes on now, again, we must make our voices heard as part of the Bridgeport community tonight, as there will be 5 or 6 Bridgeport residents speaking in front of the City Council. We've got to urge the City Council for a public hearing, because that is not a de facto. We do have a good relationship with some of the City Council members, and we've also already asked them if they can push that in the council. So that is something we definitely have to work on tonight. And then with our people power, I'm thinking that at the public hearing that I'm definitely hoping that we'll get out like hundreds of people to that, and we'll have all our voices heard. And what will go on from there is we will see. I mean, nothing's definite right now.